Thank you, thank you. Oh, so nice. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for joining us as well. I was just reading this morning that the Florida Orchestra has decided to go ahead with their spring outdoor concert, which is very concerning to me, given that Tampa Bay is the lightning capital of the U.S., and the guy in front of all the musicians is a conductor. Before we introduce our first guest, let's check in with our sister home shopping network and see what they're selling right now.
Can you give me a recipe?
Absolutely, I
Okay,
can. You got a recipe for success right there. Look at those guns on you.
This is amazing.
They call me Chef Fitness, but I've never actually cooked anything. Feel it really good?
Oh, yes.
That's it right
Ladies,
there.
hot out of the oven.
In the 10 years that I've been on air, I just help people feel like they feel better. That's an interesting legacy.
You gotta love Chef Fitness.
3, 2, 1. It's Tampa Bay Tonight with Kerry McNally. Kerry's guests, movie star and Wilson Van frontman Paul Wilson. Emmy Award-winning host of Love in America and On the Record, Serena Fisan. And national headlining comedian Ron Hortman.
Welcome back. My next guest is a modern Renaissance man. He's a classically trained actor and musician. He's appeared in critically acclaimed indie films as well as Hollywood blockbusters. He's also a busy voiceover artist, writer, director, and producer, and is the lead singer and dynamic frontman for an all-star rock band with his two brothers Mark and Patrick. Let's take a look.
He can't take much more of this. He won't have to.
David! Where is he?
I believe I need a seat.
I believe you're drunk.
Walk out to Army 1 for the helicopter.
She's all yours.
There's the president waving goodbye.
Bartender was found murdered this morning.
It is an honor to welcome the multi-talented Paul Wilson.
So I'm only here because the other guy you described couldn't be.
Okay, all right, you're being very modest and humble, and I appreciate that.
No,
but
I need to
everything
be
I said about you
somewhere
is
else.
absolutely true.
Yes,
Yes.
it's fine.
It's great to see you.
What would you like to know?
Well, I have a lot of questions here.
Give me one at a time.
Okay, now for those viewers out there that don't know, you are from arguably one of the most beloved and admired families in the Tampa Bay area. What was it like growing up a Wilson?
It was normal. Mm-hmm. We had music in our lives all the time. My mother was still plays piano, but she was the organist at church, so we had music around us all the time. And if you spend any time, for me, it was about singing in the church, because to me, growing up in the church was the music part. So we always had music. So every Wednesday, Thursday, we would hear her play. We would always go to bed listening to music. But it was like, that was kind of the lifeblood of our lives.
Okay. And you were also athletes. All you guys grew up as athletes. Was there a time in your life when you had to put down the sports and go and actually sit at the piano and study music and learn how to read music and all that stuff?
So I was in 10th grade at Shorecrest here in St. Petersburg, and I fractured my shoulder. And I was, going to be a professional football player.
Oh, of course.
I mean,
yeah,
I got the looks, whatever that means. And then I fractured my shoulder.
Okay.
And so that was the spring musical. So my mother's like, well, you can't play football anymore. Maybe you should, you can sing. Oh, and that was The Boyfriend. Noel Coward's The Boyfriend. Okay. That was my very first in 10th grade. It was like, this is kind of fun. I kind of like this. And, it helped because the girls liked it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to some of your live rock and roll shows. And the ladies,
so have I.
The ladies
apparently.
love them. They love them. Do you have a favorite?
A favorite movie that I've done?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Conjuring was really awesome. Conjuring 3 was really fun because I got to do a second movie with my little brother, which was wonderful. Yeah. And we were in hot Atlanta But it was fun to be with him and to share, to be part of that franchise, the #1 horror franchise of all time.
Absolutely. Now, back to the rock and roll.
Yes.
The Wilson Van's mission is to raise the roof, obviously, and raise money for worthy causes here in the Tampa Bay area. How can our viewers learn more about your foundation and be a part of the good work that you guys are doing in the community?
The Wilson Family Foundation and the concert is really about me raising my leg. Sorry. Okay, good. I mean, I may have broken something. I'll find out when I get in the car.
Exactly.
But the Wilson Family Foundation is our 501c3 that is more or less, and years ago, we wanted, you know, we never set out to be a band. The entire thing, you know, the skit was really to help share my brother's 40th birthday a couple years ago. And then all of a sudden it was like, hey, people like it. And it was like, you know, we go like deep in the, you know, B tracks of Van Halen. And then people started showing up a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, let's make money for others.
Sure.
So then about 6 years ago, we set up this 501c3, the Wilson Family Foundation. And now we can really benefit St. Pete Free Clinic, Wounded Warriors, Pediatric Cancer Foundation in St. Pete.
Sure.
We've done a lot.
Yeah.
So, but it's fun because we get to share. It's always, I treat it like it's our living room.
Yeah, and I think it's important for everybody out there to know that Paul is the lead singer and he owns the place. I mean, he's kicking, he's jumping into the crowd, he's doing all kinds of things. But his brother, the anchor man for the local Fox affiliate here in town, Channel 13, shreds on the guitar, note for note with Eddie Van Halen. And then Patrick Wilson plays the drums and then comes out and sings with that beautiful Broadway voice of his. So if you get a chance to see the Wilson Van, go and see them.
It was always just fun. It was always just like exciting. And then people seem to like it.
Oh, they love it. Speaking of fun, we usually do what's called the lightning round.
Oh God,
this
I need to
portion
sit
of
up
the
for
interview.
this, don't I?
We're going to flip the script just a little bit. I know you do a lot of voices and impressions. So instead of doing our traditional lightning round, we are going to do our lightning impressions. You have 60 seconds to do 5 impressions. Sir, are you ready?
As far as I know.
Okay. Number 1, from Harry Potter and Die Hard, Alan Rickman.
I'm sure you are surprised to hear from me, Mr. Cowboy.
Okay, pretty good. That's a check. Number 2, the 37th President of the United States, Richard Milhous Nixon.
What I've loved about Nixon is he always had this kind of funny left hand. And of course, everything was right there.
All right, that's a good one too. Number 3, Yoda. Not Baby Yoda, Yoda Sr.
Do or do not. There is no try.
All right, do or do not, there's no try.
Thank you.
4, number 4, the 40th President of the United States, Ronald Wilson Reagan.
So I'll say this. I've only played golf 4 times in 8 years. Well, and, you know, work to do. When Congress asked me, well, Mr. President, what is your handicap? Congress.
Okay, and lastly, but not least, let's switch places for this one. Johnny Carson.
You know, we appreciate you coming back. And now a word from Alpo. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Wilson.
So much. I love the studio audience. My leg. Sorry.
Our next esteemed guest is a 4-time Emmy Award-winning journalist and TV personality who hosts not 1, but 4 shows here on Red House Streaming. Let's see, we've got On the Record, CEO 360, Love in America, Dating in America, Let's Take a Bus to America, Let's Find Ourselves in, I'm just kidding, let's take a look.
Everyone has a story to tell. It's my mission to tell it. Unscripted, unedited, we are On the Record.
Hi, everyone. I'm Serena Fisan, and welcome to this episode of Love in America. As many know, I've put on the record that this is my absolute favorite show because I am the woman who is in love with love. And
it's an honor to welcome our esteemed colleague. This is Serena Fisan, everybody. Serena Fisan, look at this crowd. Look at all these people. They're so, are these family members?
Oh my gosh, I'm so humbled by this. Am I really on like a Talk Tonight show?
Yeah, this is it. This is Tampa Bay TONITE. Yeah, you're here. This is happening.
Exciting. Thank you very much for having me.
You're a get, as we say in the business. You're a big deal. You're a really big deal. 19 years in this market, 4 Emmy Awards, 10 nominations. You've covered pretty much just about everything over the last 2 decades. But the first question that I really want to ask you right out of the gate is, you covered the whole Tiger King thing.
Oh, yeah.
And you actually produced segments and you reported on that whole situation. Can you share a little insight into what the heck was going on?
Well, it's so crazy because it was during COVID and when Tiger King was very popular, but this was Tiger's Lies and Cover-Up through Investigation Discovery.
Okay.
And so the producers out of LA couldn't get here to do the interviews.
Oh.
And they wanted to interview me as part of it, and I wasn't a reporter here at the time.
Okay.
And they said, well, why don't you help produce it? And I said, okay. Yeah. It was crazy. And very interesting story. The investigator, Jim Rathman, has some strong opinions on it. But I have to, I can't help it. Carry my journalist.
Yeah, for sure.
It was crazy.
Okay. Well, I felt like I needed a butterfly to catch you. Like you're running past. I was like, hey, is she possibly? You're so dang busy. You're a single mom, right? And you are on the board of Where Love Grows, which helps to feed hungry kids. You help start the Partners for Life Foundation, and you have your own network of informative and highly entertaining shows here. When do you sleep?
Thank you very much for all of that, Kerry. I don't sleep
much.
Just
no sleeping.
No, I don't sleep very much, and I will say something right now on the record.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, my doctor even said, do you think you need maybe a little Ambien or something to help you sleep?
There you go.
Yeah, my mind is constantly racing.
Well, what I'm trying to do, too, is to create a show that helps people sleep. And I know that doesn't make the boss very happy, but if you curl up and you get a little sleepy during the program, that's okay, too, right? Because this is America, and it takes a little sleep sometimes to make some of your dreams come true. Now back to the interview. Do you have any downtime at all? What I found fascinating about your story is that you were not born here in the United States. English wasn't your first language, and you had a severe speech impediment as a child. I mean, that's a very steep hill to climb, and you did it. Where did that inspiration come from?
It's crazy. So I moved to this country right when I was 3, and kids would watch cartoons or anything. I was obsessed with Barbara Walters and Walter Cronkite.
Okay, sure.
And so English is my 5th language and my last language.
Right.
So I would sit there, and I made a microphone out of aluminum foil, and I loved world events, so I'd pretend to be a journalist. And so I think in all seriousness, that really was the inspiration. But it was embarrassing. I was in speech therapy for 8 years.
Okay.
And so any kids watching, pulled out of the classroom,
right,
and taken to speech therapy while everybody else had lunch. It was hard. So but you can do it.
Well, now you're in the pantheon of Barbara Walters, Tom Brokaw.
Oh, yes.
And you belong right there with those 3.
Right, because
or 2. You're the 3rd on that one. That's very, very cool. So, and I said, as you had an illustrious career as a reporter here, and now you're hosting 4 shows here on Red House Streaming. And do you have a favorite episode of one of those shows, or could you share sort of like a blooper, if you will, that took place while you were taping one of those episodes?
There are so many bloopers, we can't even count them. But I love my Love in America. I love all the shows, but Love in America is, I'm in love with love. Do you know I have set up 9 couples that have gotten married? 9. And now I'm an officiant. Yes. Am I surprising you?
No. Matchmaker, let me a match, find me. So that's awesome. 9?
9.
Wait, they've been on your show and then they got married?
No, but there was a couple.
I'm sorry, the phone is ringing off the hook right now. Single people are jamming the phone lines right now. Get me on the phone with Serena!
There was a couple, though, on Dating in America. So the guy showed a clip to a girl.
Right.
they met and now they're engaged.
That's amazing.
Isn't that amazing? But
That
my
is
love
so
in
cool.
America,
Yeah.
and my favorite episode
Okay.
is the owners of Blackjack Pizza
Okay.
in Tampa, and their love story
Aw.
is hilarious.
All right, now how does everybody get in touch with you at home?
Well, honestly, right now, how else?
Right.
Social media.
Sure.
At Serena Fisan News. And
Okay.
Carrie, I always respond to
that's
direct
great.
messages.
All right.
Yeah,
Well.
so many of my esteemed guests have been from people reaching out to me.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
It's been an honor.
Making the time to be here.
Are you kidding? It's been an honor.
Okay. It's been all right. Serena Fisan, everybody, make some noise. Here we go, right here. There it is, the Clinky. Cheers. All right. Yes. Okay. Hey, take it easy. All right. Our next guest is a rising star in the world of stand-up comedy. His relaxed storytelling style is completely free of any foul language while brimming with hilarious personal anecdotes. Let's take a look.
I believe in spare the rod, spoil a child. So sometimes in my house it gets physical. My sons are bigger than me. So sometimes it gets real physical. Last week it got physical, and I think I pulled something. I was sore for 3 days. I said, that's what my daddy meant when he said it's gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you.
It's an honor to welcome Mr. Ron Hortman, everybody. Ron Hortman! There he is.
Thank you.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Great, man. It's an honor to see you here. We did a show together, I don't know how long, was it during COVID?
I think it was right at the end.
Right at the end of COVID?
Pandemic. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, very cool.
One of the first ones out.
Yeah.
And it was a wonderful show too. Thank you for having me.
Well, you know, one of the things that I noticed about your style of stand-up, and if you get a chance to see him live, take that opportunity, or you can see him on his wildly popular Dry Bar special. Are you at 4 million views at this point, or you're just getting close to 4 million?
About 4 million.
4 million, yeah.
That doesn't translate to dollars, though.
No, you don't see any of that. Well, one of the things I found fascinating about you is that it takes some comedians years, if not decades, of their lives to develop their own voice. And you seem to just sort of have one naturally. Where does that come from?
You know, my comedy is really based on my real life, so I don't write jokes per se. I just take a piece of my life and try to find the funny in it. And sometimes it comes from pain. And if you can make that funny, I believe it's really funny. So that's why it's so real. It's authentic to me.
How many kids do you have?
4.
4?
4, yes.
Oh my gosh. And some of them are getting big. Like your boys are getting big. You talk about that on stage, right?
Yes, I have grandkids now.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Me
it's
too.
crazy.
It is weird.
Yeah.
So now you're touring with Angela Johnson-Reyes, who is a force of nature. How are the audiences, and is it tough being away from your family?
Being away from the family is always tough for me because I'm a family guy, and a lot of people think that when you're on the road, you're just having a great time. That's not true, baby. I'm out there wishing I was home. But Angela, one of the sweetest people on the planet, and her audiences they come to see her.
Right.
So when you can win them over, it's just a plus. A diverse audience, but a lot of women. So I've learned that you can't say certain things without getting the women upset.
Here, let's cheers to that. You can put that down here now.
Put that down? Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, you've got 4 million people now watching your Dry Bar special. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, tell us about that experience. So you go to Provo, Utah, right?
Provo, yes.
And it's a dry bar in every sense of the word, correct?
Yes, the people are, they're, what's the name? Twilight Zone white there. There's so many.
Twilight Zone white?
Twilight Zone white. Okay. It's like the whitest place on the planet.
All right.
And the people are so nice that it's scary.
Sure.
Like, you know, you're crossing the street and they're telling you to go. Like, no, you go. But wonderful experience. The people are, like I said, super nice. and I had a good time.
Well, this is definitely gonna be an away game.
How old were you when you started thinking about doing stand-up comedy? Do you remember?
My whole life, I always thought I was funny, and
Sure.
I thought I could do stand-up. And we had a high school class reunion. I want to say it was my 10th year high school reunion. I'm just cracking jokes, doing what I do. A friend of mine, Kirsten Wagner, I don't know what her new married name is. She just got married. Kirsten Wagner, she told me, if you don't do stand-up, you stupid.
Wow. Okay.
That
When you're
stuck-
not stupid, we know that for sure. What's her name again?
Kirsten
Wagner. Wagner. Everybody call Kirsten Wagner
Wagner.
and find out from Kirsten what you should be doing with your life. Kirsten Wagner .net something or other. Okay.
She was always a little bully too, so.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah, I got bullied when I was a kid. People don't know this about me. In 7th grade, I got a little bullied. Yeah, I got beaten up by a girl, big girl. You know, she got me in a headlock. And I was taught you're not supposed to hit a girl, so I acted like I passed out, played dead.
Good move. Good move.
And then we started dating, which is really weird. But after a couple of weeks, I felt suffocated. So we broke up. All right, so at this portion of the program, we are going to do the wildly popular, now incredibly internationally famous lightning round. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
Okay, we're going to ask you 5 questions.
5 questions.
You have 60 seconds to answer. There are no right or wrong answers, or are there? Let's find out. Are you ready, sir?
60 seconds per question, or for
60
all
seconds
5?
for the whole 5.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, stand by. And here we go. Question number 1. Who's funnier, you or your wife?
Me.
Okay.
Definitely.
When you started making enough money to quit your day job, what did you say to your boss when you left?
Well, when it happens, I'll let you know. Yeah.
What's the nicest thing somebody ever said to you after one of your shows?
That they were going through a hard time, and my comedy took them to a place that they haven't been in a while, and they hugged me and cried.
There you go. Correct. And lastly, how can people follow you and see you live on stage? What's the best email address for you?
They can go to ronhortman.com. That's RAHNHORTMAN.com.
Okay. And lastly, what would you say to somebody out there who's thinking about doing stand-up?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
It's the worst drug ever.
Yeah, exactly.
It really is.
Right, okay.
Don't
Ladies and gentlemen, the very funny, the very talented, and the very lovable Mr. Ron Hortman, everybody. Good to see you, sir. Cheers. Boom. Well, that's our show. Thank you so much for joining us. We love that you're watching, and we really appreciate it. If you'd like to sponsor the show or be on the program, here's the number. It's not really a number, it's these email things. I don't understand any of it. Oh, yeah, there it is. We'd love to hear from you. I'm out of here.